I'm Ashton Addison from Event Chain for Investmentpitch Media and FinTech News Network. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Jeff Kirdeikie, the founder of UpTrennd. Jeff, thanks so much for being on the show. It is a pleasure to have you here today.
Super happy to be here, Ashton. Thanks for having me on.
You're very welcome. I'm really excited to learn about UpTrennd today. If you could give a little bit of background on first how you got involved into the blockchain industry and how you got involved into this social media network.
Gotcha. So how I first got involved in blockchain was getting absolutely hooked on Ethereum and its ideology behind it, being able to really redistribute the power and empower the people rather than just these big centralized corporations, that we can go directly from content creator to content consumer, whether you're looking at Spotify or Netflix or the banking and financial industry. I was just so enthralled by dApps and how they can really change the face of our world. Obviously, we haven't seen many killer dApps yet, but I'm really hopeful on it. And that's that's my whole ethos. And so that kind of ties into the social media space. So once I kind of got the Ethereum bug, I started a Facebook group called Ethereum Investing. It was just me and some friends who talked about Ethereum, about how much we loved it. New people came in, one, two. Next thing we know, there's 40,000 people in this group. And we're like, wow, let's open a group called Cryptocurrency Investing. Boom, that one grows to 140,000 people. And now the network is much, much larger than just those two groups. And it's all founded from just this place of, when you share valuable information and help each other out, you can really create a very cohesive and synergistic ecosystem. And so then through this experience of growing these Facebook groups and interacting on social media, obviously you get to see all the pain points of social media. Just the way that Facebook does their algorithm, they censor people, they delete accounts. My account's actually personally been deactivated from Facebook. So if anyone listening actually knows how to get my account back in through a back door, holler at me. But just so many pain points. And so I was like, you know what, there's got to be a better way to do social media. And Steemit was a good first mover, but they got overrun by bots and a couple other issues. So I thought, let's give this a shot. Let's see if we can build something that's going to add value into people's lives, empower them. And that's where UpTrennd came from.
That's great, Jeff. And you're very right. Facebook makes it very tough for regular businesses to get their name out without having to pay tons of money. And the same goes for YouTube and Twitter and a lot of the other popular social media platforms. So, how is UpTrennd making a more fair and clear user experience in this crazy time?
I think you just nailed it. Is at any twist and turn that these platforms have, they're trying to make more dollars, more money. So what if the business model of UpTrennd was similar to the business model of these dApps and Ethereum that I was talking about, where you're essentially going as much from content creator to content consumer as you possibly can. So we distribute 80% of all advertising revenue back to the users on the platform. We don't have any hidden algorithms. We don't have any shadow banning. We don't censor content based on, a personal bias. So everything on UpTrennd is for the people, super transparent. We didn't do an ICO. This thing's been totally bootstrapped from day one. So this is just this is a platform for the people. And I think that's what really sets us apart from anything else. And, members make suggestions on UpTrennd oh, I'd love to see this change or that change. Boom, next week, it's implemented. So we listen, we care. And I think that's the biggest differentiator right there.
That's great. And when you're starting a new social media platform, it can be hard to gain traction because of that network effect that these large companies already have, right? Yeah. If all your friends are on Facebook, how do you start a new one and try to convince everybody to go there? And part of it is you need those influencers and content producers. So how does UpTrennd exactly work for content producers, and why is it worth it for them to produce content and put it on UpTrennd?
Yeah, no, you nailed it. To start building that network effect is challenging. So we decided to niche in at the very inception of the UpTrennd. So right now we're still only focused on crypto content. So it's not only a full social media platform, because then things will get spread way too wide, way too fast. So if it's just crypto, it's this very nice cohesive conversation and people have mutual interests. So the moment that you post, I kind of challenge anybody to make an account on UpTrennd, post below, and just see the engagement. I think you're going to be blown away. If for a new user on Twitter or Steemit or Minds, it's at least 10x the amount. So I think that's one thing that really sets us apart. And then another reason why content creators should get on, it's super simple. Your data is secure. You're going to get paid. the work that you put in, the passion that you have, the whole idea is that UpTrennd is built so that people can live and thrive financially through their passions. Whether that's blogging, video editing, doesn't really matter. We're starting with cryptocurrency. So if that's something you're passionate about, post away and start earning and kind of like take back your self-sovereignty in this digital world.
And how easy is it for content producers to, cash out or use that to actually, pay their bills? Are they getting paid in fiat? Is there UpTrennd tokens or other cryptocurrencies?
Yeah, for sure. So if anyone's familiar with how to use Ethereum wallets and things like that, it's going to be hyper easy. We do have our own ERC20 token. It's a 1UP token. So that's what you earn natively on the platform. You cash that out, trade it for Ethereum. Super simple process. And then coming up in the following months, no timeline 'cause it's out of our hands, but we've partnered with an incredible project called MobiPay. And so essentially we're going to have the 1UP token on this app. And so you earn 1UP tokens. It gets kind of like imported onto your app. You go to over like 500,000 retailers. I might be exaggerating that number. I think it was like 250,000 retailers across the United States. You can tap that app at their POS devices. Boom. It's just converted the 1UP into fiat, and you've now paid. Merchant receives fiat. They don't even know you use crypto. So the idea is that you can make a post, maybe about your lunch, and then by the time lunch is over, you're able to pay for it with the 1UP token.
That's great. And that's something that, I'm very familiar with Steemit as a blockchain-based social media platform. I started using it in the first month of its inception around 2016. And it's a very convoluted sort of cash out system. And, it's tough for people to understand cryptocurrency to start with, but they have 3 different cryptocurrencies involved in the platform with power ups and power downs and limits on it. It makes it a little bit tougher. So I'm guessing that you guys aren't going for that same mentality.
No, I think I think you nailed it. Is the simpler you can keep it, the more chance you have of adoption. So that's really our thing. With just one token, really easy. The higher your level, the more you earn. That's it. No hidden bells, no Steam power, no Steam dollars, no conversion. Just like cut and dry. Here's what you get.
And how do you create a sense of fairness and some sort of sense of decentralization on a blockchain-based platform? Whereas there's been allegations with Steemit where with the early contributors, I contributed early, but I didn't use it all the time. But they have a lot of power, so I have an imbalance of power that they can vote their peers that they want up, and those people earn a lot of money, and you're sort of working together to collude with the system. Is this things that you've thought about?
Well, 100%. If this didn't exist on Steemit, I think Steemit would actually be a pretty viable platform. But you're right, because you can collude, you now have vote power, and these accounts, you can actually buy your way into this vote power and essentially become a pay-to-play bot. And just all this bad content gets starting to be boosted to the top of the feed. People are just paying to play for it. So it really makes the feed like not that high quality, and it's more longevity and payment. So definitely we've thought about that. And the way that we're counteracting that is because on Steemit, the higher your level, the more your vote is worth towards other people. On UpTrennd, your vote is always worth 1. Doesn't matter if you're level 1, level 100, really doesn't matter. But if you're level 1 versus level 21, let's say, at level 1, you're going to earn 1 point per upvote. At level 21, you're going to earn 3 points per upvote. And every time you level up, your ability to earn is increased. So we're seeing like every month, at least 60% of people are locking points back into their accounts, or actually burning them and spending them. So people are really investing into the longevity of this platform and into themselves, and leveling up their accounts so that they can earn more in the future. Sorry.
That's great. And how long has the platform been live on the market? And in which ways have you guys had successful marketing to actually grow the user base so far?
Right. Well, so we've been live since January 1st, 2019. So just under 11 months now. And I believe it was yesterday we just crossed the 50,000 user mark. So we're all like over the moon, elated and excited about that, especially as it ties into marketing, because we haven't spent a single dollar on marketing. Everything has been organic through the Facebook network, through opportunities like this one right here, which we're super, super grateful for. Like I said, we don't have this big war chest so that we can do the block one style thing where we're going to throw $100 million at developers, $30 million at the domain voice.com. We really believe in resourcefulness versus resources. So the marketing has just been slow, methodical, and it's allowed us to grow and adapt with community requests. So We will be ramping up marketing in the future. Our platform still looks very MVP. It looks like 2008 right now. So once we kind of give it a fresh coat of paint, which is coming soon, then we're going to be really going hard on the marketing. Because I feel that is maybe a higher bounce rate. Causation is that people bounce. It doesn't look the best. It's not 10 times better than Facebook. Elon Musk talks about this. It's like it's got to be 10 times better. So I really believe that. So we haven't gone hard into the marketing spend yet, just because we really want to get into that real sweet spot.
That's great, and I understand why you guys would just want to launch. In software, a lot of tech founders say that if you are fully satisfied with the product when you first launch, that means you've probably launched too late, right? So it's great to launch and get iterations and feedback from your early adopters. And for example, the Brave browser, when I first used it back in 2014 or 15, when it had first come out, it really did have sort of a 2008 UI feel to it as well. And now it feels just as nice as all of the other mainstream browsers, and they have 40 million users, right? And it's one of the most popular blockchain-based platforms, and it's a highly recommended browser, and many people prefer it over all the top browsers. So, and that's because of the user feedback and the iterations. So I think you guys are right on track for that. And you guys are working on that, as you said. And I'd love to know a little bit more about what else is in the 6-month roadmap for the first half of 2020 for UpTrennd.
For sure. So of course, the big facelifts make the front end user interface a lot more clean and palatable and marketable. As well, we have the mobile app on iOS and Android. We just got it into testing from the developers pretty much really recently. So we're starting on testing. Anticipated 1 month, 2 month, we'll have mobile app on iOS and Android. And then in terms of features on the platform, I'd say a couple that I'm the most excited about are which one should I go first? Ownership of communities. I think that one I'm really excited about. So if you look at a platform like Reddit or Facebook, you have these little communities. Let's say it's politics, for example, and there's always a leader of that community, an administrator. Well, imagine if you could own that community and you're incentivized to grow it and to build it and expand it and to have good quality content in there, because every time an upvote happens in that community or a like, you're actually getting paid a fraction of that upvote. So it's essentially like you can buy this community, you can build it, you can grow it, have a passive stream of income, and then feel like it's essentially like a digital piece of rental real estate almost. Because at the end of the day, you're like, okay, I'm done with this. I maybe I flip it. Great, you could sell it to somebody else. So I'm really excited for that one. And the second piece is investing in content, and I think this is going to really level the playing field and democratize the ability for new users to be able to thrive on the platform. And so what this is let's say you come onto the UpTrennd, you're a new user, but I see this piece of content you made. I'm like, this is a great piece of content. Like, more people should be seeing this. So I'm going to boost your content. And I'm going to submit a proposal to you. I'm going to say, hey, I want to boost this for 10,000 views. And now I can say how much of the boost, upvote winnings, I get to earn, whether it's 0%, 100%, or anywhere in between. You thumbs up, thumbs down, or counter propose. So those are the two. I won't go we have 1,001 things, but those are the two I'm really excited about. Investing in content so that new users can really thrive, and it creates this ecosystem where everyone's helping each other out in synergy. One of my favorite words. And owning your own community. That's
great. And in the part about owning your own community, you mentioned streams of income for moderators or people that have their own communities. What about UpTrennd itself as a company? How are you guys going to sustain a business? Is there a revenue model built in, or how are you guys going to work that out?
For sure, yeah. And so just touching on the community business model. So obviously, if we're going to sell a community from the inception, let's say we sell the cryptocurrency community, we're going to do that auction style. So, let's say it goes for $50,000 or so. We're going to take that money and then redistribute, let's say, whatever percentage of that to the community, keep some as our own revenue. And then on the resale of every community, we'll take a fractional percentage of that as well. So that's on the community side. Then obviously we have the banner ads. We've been doing lots of partnerships with different projects. We have one with Telos and Pegnet right now, phenomenal projects. And so, we're very much like the most ethical version of a PR release firm, like a Cointelegraph that you can have. So we really dive deep. We do the interviews. It's a lot more than just here's your one blanket statement. So that's another big revenue model for us. It's just putting projects into the limelight in front of a niche community of cryptocurrency enthusiasts.
That's great. And moving forward, are you guys expanding your development team? You're just looking for more users, obviously. Are you also looking for strategic partnerships or anything else?
Yeah, for sure. So obviously, yeah, more users, the better. Developers, yes, we're onboarding a couple teams right now. I won't go too deep into that. Nothing's been signed yet, so I can't say anything. But yeah, strategic partnerships. We've been partnering with a lot of different projects who, just want to kind of establish their presence on UpTrennd, especially in the crypto space. There's been quite a few who've come on and be like, okay, yeah, like we're gonna kind of like root in here. Reddit has been censoring everything that's happening, and this is just a lot more. It's easier for our community to interact here. And then yeah, right now we have just started opening up to funding as well. We're ready to take this into the next level. Like I said, we haven't raised $1 yet, but now we feel is the time. Okay, let's open the gates. Let's get things moving, especially with voice coming in. So we really feel like now's a good time to kind of put the foot on the gas. That we've received the community feedback. We've implemented things. We've established a very effective and efficient business model and team chemistry. And so now we're like, yeah, it's time to go now.
Awesome. And if people are interested in reaching out, for business partnership wise, how can they reach out to you? And obviously, they can go to uptrend.com if they're looking to be a user, right?
Yeah, probably easiest way to get at me is on Twitter. Please don't get at me on LinkedIn. It'll just get buried in the thousands of LinkedIn requests in there, or on UpTrennd. Those are the two best ways.
Awesome. Well, I'll leave those links in the description box below for the users, Jeff. Thank you so much for your time. That's all the time that we have for the interview this time, but it sounds like UpTrennd is well on its way and moving up in the world. So I appreciate you taking the time, and let's follow up in the near future.
I love it. Thanks so much for the opportunity, Ashton. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.